On a sunny day in August 1958, a group of scientists gathered at the Statens Serum Institute in Copenhagen, Denmark, to study a strange case affecting two monkeys. The monkeys were suffering from a high fever and a strange rash. At that moment, no one knew that this discovery would mark the beginning of a disease that decades later would become a global concern, just like COVID-19. This is the disease we now know as Mpox, formerly called monkeypox. It started in the lab, but the disease wasn't confined to monkeys alone. In 1970, the first human case of Mpox was recorded in the equatorial region of Congo, then known as Zaire. Since then, the disease slowly began spreading, targeting communities living near forests. It wasn't just the monkeys. They were innocent from being the only carriers of this disease. Mpox affects various animals, including rodents, squirrels, and even prairie dogs. These animals play a critical role in spreading the virus, as they act as reservoirs, harboring the virus in nature and making eradication more challenging. While Mpox is more commonly associated with wildlife in Africa, people in North America and Europe are not entirely free from the risk. Taking pets like dogs and cats could potentially expose people to Mpox if these pets come into contact with infected animals or contaminated surfaces. In fact, the 2003 North American outbreak was traced back to a shipment of rodents from Ghana, which were housed near prairie dogs in US pet stores. These prairie dogs, now infected with Mpox, were sold as pets, leading as 47 human cases across 6 states. This incident showed how wildlife trade can introduce diseases like Mpox into new environments. The 2022 Mpox outbreak spread rapidly through close personal contact and international travel, marking a significant shift from previous outbreaks that primarily involved animal-to-human transmission. Health experts suspect that large social gatherings and human-to-human transmission played a major role in the global spread. Mpox cases began appearing in regions where it had not been recorded before, including North America and Europe, leading to widespread concern and swift public health responses. While Mpox hasn't reached the global scale of COVID-19, it poses a different kind of danger. The Congo basin strain, for instance, has a fatality rate of up to 10%, far deadlier than the average death rate from COVID-19. While COVID-19 spreads faster, Mpox can be far more lethal in certain cases. The virus' outer envelope plays a vital role in its ability to survive and replicate. This envelope is composed of complex protein layers that protect the genetic material from environmental factors like dryness and heat. Mpox can remain active outside the body for long periods, increasing the risk of transmission through contaminated surfaces. Once inside the body, Mpox begins replicating in skin cells or immune cells like macrophages. The virus uses the cell's machinery to produce copies of itself, eventually destroying the cell and spreading to other tissues. The wide-ranging effects of Mpox, from skin lesions to internal organ damage, make it a serious health threat, leading to long-term complications or death. As the virus continues to spread, it attacks different tissues in the body, causing symptoms that begin with fever and headache, followed by the appearance of skin rash. These small blisters, filled with new viruses, are one of the main sources of infection to others. In the past, Mpox was largely limited to animal-to-human transmission, but as the virus evolves and spreads, human-to-human transmission has become a major concern, especially in densely populated areas. Fortunately, the traditional smallpox vaccine has proven effective in preventing Mpox with up to 85% efficacy. Vaccination is the best preventive measure, along with avoiding contact with infected wild animals and following regular personal hygiene practices. So, for those of us living in Europe and North America, should we really be concerned about this new virus? Personally, I only started paying attention after the media warnings last August. I couldn't help but feel alarmed by the disturbing images of children covered in severe skin rashes, not to mention the unsettling idea of a virus supposedly originating from our close cousins, the monkeys. Since then, Mpox has popped up occasionally in the news, but if you look at reports from health organizations in Europe and the US, you'll see the risk remains low with only one recent case reported in Germany. Here is a quick experiment you can try. Search Mpox new cases for your area and filter results for the past month. You might come across Roche, a top 10 global pharmaceutical company, actively promoting new Mpox test kits. Interestingly, Roche CEO mentioned that while demand for these kits is not so high yet, we could manage 10 times higher demand. In my view, while it's always wise to stay informed and vigilant, there is no immediate reason to worry about Mpox. I also suspect that some companies may be using WHO's recent warnings to create a market for products they've already invested in. What do you think? Merci et à bientôt.